This episode is supported by Bike Pittsburgh. You heard it here first. Their signature summer event, Open Streets Pittsburgh, is back for 2025. If you've never been before, Open Streets Pittsburgh is this incredible event where the streets in specific neighborhoods get shut down to cars so that bikers and rollerbladers and pedestrians can all take over the road. It's one of my favorite summer activities. I love seeing the way people can build the sense of community connection when the streets become car-free. And you get to experience the city from a whole new perspective, strolling or skipping or even dancing down streets that are normally dominated by cars. This year, Open Streets Pittsburgh is happening on Sunday, June 29th and Sunday, July 27th. You can stay tuned for updates at openstreetspgh.org or follow OpenStreetsPGH on Instagram.
CityCast Pittsburgh is supported today by the Heinz History Center and their newest exhibition, Pittsburgh's Hidden History. It is a cornucopia of curiosity, a magical menagerie of memory, and a little bit of this and that. There are flowery couches, relics from Kennywood, even a collection of shivs. If you listen to this show a lot, you know we are loving this. It is truly mind-boggling to see how the curators brought together such a wide range of rarely seen artifacts to tell Pittsburgh stories like never before. To buy your tickets and learn more, visit HeinzHistoryCenter.org. Today on CityCast Pittsburgh, it is Election Day. Allegheny County sent out over 111,000 mail-in ballots ahead of today for the primary election. But as of last week, only about half of them had come back. Y'all, get your ballots in. You can drop them off in person at the county office building or go vote at your polling place just like normal. More about how to do that in a second. County officials say they do understand the storm really walloped everyone. The election has kind of fallen to the back burner for some folks. But if you live in the city and you want to weigh in on who should be our next mayor, this is your moment. There are also a bunch of candidates for county council, school board, judges, plus 3 ballot questions. If you need help with all of this, we recorded a procrastinator's guide to your ballot last week, so please check that out if you need a crash course. You'll also have time because today's episode is a short one. We're resharing a conversation with the county about what happens behind the scenes on election night and when we might know who won. It's Tuesday, May 20th. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. I'm with Abigail Gardner, the communications director for the county executive's office. Thank you for joining us on CityCast.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
So tell me what happens on election night. 8 p.m., polls close. What happens next?
Sure. So, for the elections division, we kind of have 2 different tasks that we're running simultaneously on election day. We are, for the first time, opening and tabulating all the mail-in ballots. Not everyone who requests one returns one, but our goal with the elections division for Allegheny County is to have as many of those as possible counted. So at 8 p.m., the information goes on the website where you see election results for every election. If you're a elections nerd in Allegheny County, to go to the elections website, there will be a link way up at the top in the banner. Look at the election results and you can dive in on all your races, check your precincts, who's reported. So those mail-in numbers get posted really quickly after 8 p.m. Simultaneously, everybody who voted on election day in person, we have 900 plus polling places happening across the county, and the staff, the poll workers, the judge of elections, they have to close up the polling location. They have to take a thumb drive basically out of the machine and drive it to one of our regional reporting centers. And then you start to see that data get uploaded on the same website. Maybe the first drop comes closer to 9 p.m. because it takes some time to do all that. And then you see maybe every half hour or so, there'll be a refresh of more data. That probably goes until midnight. Usually by midnight, we kind of have everything in that we're going to get in.
Do you expect Allegheny County to finish counting votes on election night?
I do.
Why do we do it so much faster than Philly? Why are we better than them?
It's a great question. I do not live to cast aspersions at our friends in Philadelphia. Their process is none of my business. But my understanding is that the county actually did use some COVID relief funds to buy better equipment. So obviously mail-in was new in 2020. It's the first time we ever had to do it, and we had to do it at such a vast scale. So there had to be investments in machines that otherwise you might not think that much about, but high-speed envelope openers, high-speed scanners. So we bought the Blue Crest, which is the Corvette of sorters. Like, it sorts and scans the declaration envelope very quickly, and then it also can open very quickly.
So the machine does all of the things. You just hand it a sealed envelope and it goes from there?
We scan them, and there's a barcode. So they're entered into a system to say voter John Doe has returned his ballot. And we can see like the signature line, the date line, and we're scanning the barcode, putting it in the system. So then you get an email if you gave us your email to trigger, like, we've received your ballot. As far as we can tell from the outside, it's good to go, no problems.
Yeah.
All set.
So you know that it's been returned, but you don't know what's inside it yet.
Correct. We're not allowed to open until 7 a.m. on Election Day. This has been like well-covered territory that we cannot pre-canvass, and pre-canvass means open those envelopes and take the ballots out. So the who requested the ballot, their party. So you can sort of aggregate, maybe 70% of people who are requesting mail-in ballots are Democrats, 20% are Republicans, 10% are other, So you kind of roughly know that, but you do not actually know who they voted for. The whole ballot could be blank.
Yep.
None of my business what they did with
maybe
that ballot.
Maybe they voted for Mickey Mouse. Yeah.
Right, but they did return it. So we know that. On Election Day then, we go through a process where everybody will check the outer envelope one more time to make sure it looks good. It's been signed, it's been dated. You want to be able to see through the hole punch that there is a secrecy envelope in there. It's not a naked ballot. So
which is unique to Allegheny County.
Some other counties are doing it, but this is the first time Allegheny County has done the hole punch, which is very exciting.
Hey Pittsburgh, today's show is sponsored by Pittsburgh Pride. It is back, it is bigger, it is bolder, it is gayer than ever before. Get ready for a full week of love, liberation, and celebration across the city with Pittsburgh Pride 2025. It all kicks off Sunday, May 25th with the Bigger, Gayer Picnic. Think sunshine, chosen family, and all the queer joy you can pack into one Pittsburgh park. Then on Friday, May 30th, put on your formal or your fiercest. It's the Pittsburgh Pride Prom, followed by the legendary Emerald City Kiki Ball. Yes, the ballroom scene is turning out. Saturday, May 31st, brings the Pittsburgh Pride Festival Day 1 with a free concert featuring Vienna Vienna and American Idol alum David Archuleta, lighting up the night at 7 p.m. And finally, if you can handle it, Sunday, June 1st, come march with your community in the Pittsburgh Pride Parade. Then stick around for the festival Day 2, closing everything out with another free concert starring Jay Howell and the iconic Lil Mo. For all the events, all of the info, head over to pittsburghpride.com to plan your perfect Pittsburgh Pride weekend. That's pittsburghpride.com. Come as you are, show up proud, and we will see you there.
This episode is brought to you by Temptations Cat Treats. Your cat will come running for the perfectly irresistible Temptations Creamy Puree and Temptations Lickable Spoon Cat Treats. The best time to feed lickable cat treats to your cat is anytime. Feed by hand for a playful moment, in a bowl for a creamy treat, or as a topper to make mealtime fun. Visit temptationstreats.com to learn more.
You're actually holding an envelope here, a sample one. I didn't realize until this week, I'll be honest, that this was kind of designed county to county, so Allegheny County could design their own. Can you walk us through some of the unique features of the Allegheny County ballot?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're a mail-in voter or someone who obsesses about what happens with mail-in votes and all the ways that they can go wrong. I'm excited that Allegheny County has made a couple envelope innovations where it says sign and date with today's date. We have helped voters out because some voters would sign and then they would do their date of birth, which I understand. They think we're looking for identification and whatever, but we weren't. We were looking for today's date. And then we also did a hole punch. So now you can see visibly if somebody remembered to use their secrecy envelope or if the ballot is naked. And that's very important because it's been pretty settled law, I think, at this point, that if the ballot is naked, we can't count it. And if you forget to sign and if you don't have a date on the declaration envelope, we are not able to count it. So we're trying to do these things to help lower the error rate. And I'm excited that it seems to be working. You know, in the first few weeks since we mailed out ballots, the number of ballots that have come back with a mistake on the declaration envelope on the outside has been cut in half versus previous elections. So it's really exciting.
That's called ballot curing, which I will be honest, I learned about from you yesterday.
Yes. So the curing process, I don't know how we ended up calling it curing, but I guess it makes sense. The curing process is if somebody sends you a ballot and there's some missing information or incorrect information on the declaration envelope that is going
visible from the outside.
Yes, that is going to make it so that we cannot accept and process their ballot. So in the previous elections, we would see on average 1.2, 1.3% of return ballots had an error on the declaration envelope. We were a very aggressive county in terms of trying to get those ballots cured. So we would not accept it. We would immediately put it in the mail back to the voter with a letter explaining what they did wrong, directions asking them to fix it. We would give them a new outer envelope if they needed one. If all you did was forget to sign it, it's like just sign it, put a new stamp on it, send it back. But if you need a new envelope, we give you a new envelope. Don't forget to put a stamp on your envelope, send it back to us. So in the primary, that system got over 60% of the ballots that had a mistake on them corrected, which is great. I mean, way higher than every other county in the state. Back to why is Allegheny County the best? Very aggressive on the curing. And then, back to the Blue Crest on election day, after we visibly inspect the outer envelopes to make sure that they're good to go and, we can proceed with counting the ballots, we have this high-speed envelope opener that can open up to 50,000 ballots an hour. You open the outer envelope. Humans will take the secrecy envelope out of the outer envelope once it's been opened. We will put the outer envelope aside. We save those for 2 years. And then we run the envelopes through the Blue Crest again, 50,000 an hour. We open the next round. And then the humans take the ballots out of the inner envelope. We unfold them, we flatten them, and then we put them through high-speed scanners. And so we'll have over 200 county employees in the warehouse. These are not election division workers. We're very, I don't know, is the word egalitarian? Like on election day, everybody works elections. So you can be the health director, you can be the chief public defender, you can be the parks director. On election day, you are sitting there and you're opening envelopes and you're taking the ballots out of the envelopes and you're carefully unfolding them and flattening them, getting them ready for the scanner. We do that, I think, with just incredible efficiency and precision. The county has been improving their process relentlessly since 2020. The goal is to have everything counted and the data posted as close to 8 p.m. as possible.
The overtime on that must be fun. Like, I hope you get like a good party, like some election night pizza, something.
We do feed them. There's breakfast and lunch, and if necessary, dinner, though. Most of that envelope opening, which is what we need all the people for, should be done by mid-afternoon, and then you're just scanning. And I will also remind people that we can accept ballots up until 8 p.m. on election night, but they have to be in our hot little hands. So you need to come downtown to the county office building on election day. If you are still holding your ballot and you want to turn it in, you want that vote by mail ballot to count, you need to come downtown to the county office building and give it to us. But we will accept ballots up until 8 p.m. Do not put it in the mail. It being postmarked is not good enough. That is settled law. We cannot accept a ballot that comes in late just because it's postmarked. Your other option is you go to your polling place. You say, hey, I will be noted in the poll book as someone who already requested a mail-in ballot. I want to spoil my ballot. And so the poll worker can take the ballot from you, destroy it, and then have you vote in person. So some people do that, but I think you get nervous. Is my poll worker going to understand this? Am I going to be the only person at my precinct who's making this request? And so some people just prefer to try to get it to us in person at the county office building.
Abby, thank you so much. I hope election night goes well.
Thank you.
That is all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. Fun fact, the number of county employees who get staffed to work election night actually depends on how many of us voters return our mail-in ballots. Fewer ballots requested, fewer people needed to open all the envelopes. This time, they'll be in that north side warehouse with about 140 people. By the way, we will be talking about election results on tomorrow's podcast, and we are waking up so early to do it for Yins, so the episode might be a little late dropping in your feeds. We will be back tomorrow morning with all the election news from around the city. We'll talk to you soon.
For me personally, I do obsess about Allegheny County, so I'll be looking at that website just like everyone else, refreshing, watching the results come in.